Say we, I mean me. Why was I even worried?
Yes, why were you worried? Paul said 4-0, but you know what? It was 2-0, but it was like a 4-0. And the reason I say it was so controlled by our team and how we moved the ball, we shifted it. You know, we were talking off air, and I was like, I'm trying to think of when Edison had to make a save, and I think it was only one he had to make throughout the game. But this is how well we've played. It was really, we kept Burnley at arm's length, you know, and they couldn't do much in terms of try to get at us in any way. Brilliant performance by us, really was.
Yeah, City go back to the top of the league, knocked off for all of around about 35 minutes, I think. So 35 minutes of nerves for me, and then a joyous game of football. That was just total domination from start to finish from us, Paul.
It was totally controlled, and the early goal really helped. I think it settled everybody down. I'm still hoping for 4-0, getting a few more goals, but another clean sheet. I think that doesn't get spoken about enough. 17th of the season. Defensively looked great. I think big shout out to NATALIE today as well. We spoke about him before and briefly at half time, and whenever he's been called upon, he's been outstanding. And then you look at the 2 goals we scored. Raheem Sterling was electric all game. Got a couple of assists, and back to the top of the league where we belong.
17 clean sheets for Edison is just phenomenal. We talked a lot about the defence before the game, obviously, because we know Diaz is still out. John Stones came back from England. He's on the bench. We can see Edison there now giving his shirt away to somebody with a sign. It's worked. Edison, please can I have your shirt? Well, you got it. There'll be a very happy child tonight. But Nathan Ake in particular, I thought he had a great game, Sean. He looked composed. In terms of looking forward to the game on Tuesday, do you think he's done enough, or do you think John Stones will come back into the team?
Well, I think he has done enough. You know, I think I haven't given him enough credit. Today I'm looking at him thinking, wow, what a performance. Everything we're asked of him, he does. He's hitting some long diagonal balls that are on quality, defending when he needs to be aggressive, when balls in the air, contesting. Their striker, 6'7". When the ball's in there, he's competing. On the ball, composure. I thought he was really brilliant as post. I thought he had an excellent game. So I got to give a shout out to him. No, he was absolutely brilliant in playing a part of us keeping a clean sheet, which is starting to make me think I may have to get my little cardboard and say, Addison, I need the shirt, mate. I need the jersey. But yeah, Nathan Ake, I thought he was brilliant.
So we kept a clean sheet. We didn't get any more goals in the second half, though, Paul. Any concerns there, or do you think we were just being professional and seeing the job out? I
think a little bit of both, really. I wouldn't say concerned. Gabriel Jesus has come on and hit the post, possibly should score with the rebound. We created enough chances, but at 2-0, it was really comfortable. Completely in control. I know they had a 5-minute spell. I think there was just 2 long balls that we didn't deal with, but apart from that, we're in complete control. And go back to Raheem Sterling again. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. His form recently has been great, scoring lots of goals. 2 assists today, and every time he got the ball, I mean, the left back, he'll be so glad that game's finished today, because every time Raheem got it, he had him on toast.
I find it amazing that each game that comes along and we churn out the tactics, that Pep just gets the tactics absolutely spot on. We play against Burnley. I'm sitting there thinking it's going to be a tough game, which is why I was giving you sort of 3 predictions: 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. I was trying to cover all bases.
That's standard, you sure?
Yeah,
we know that.
Standard. But again, tactically getting it so right, and the game was so comfortable in terms of, again, them not really having many opportunities, and it was just a case of, well, were we going to score 4 goals, or were we going to score 2, potentially 3, and just keep them at arm's length? But I thought it was a really solid performance by us.
It felt like a really sort of professional performance. And by that, I mean, Paul, obviously we know that Liverpool went top before the game had started. We know, as you had said, there'd been a lot of talk in the build-up to this that Liverpool could go top before we played. It felt like there was a lot of people trying to put pressure on us, but we never looked pressured at any point in that game. We knew our job, we went out and we did it.
It didn't look. Everybody that was out there today, maybe apart from Jack, is Premier League champions. They know how to win the league. That they've done it from coming behind a couple of seasons ago, and they've done it from leading from the front. So nothing will faze them. No matter the pressure from all the outside, and people saying that Liverpool are catching us up, momentum's with them and everything else. That won't bother them. If anything, that will drive them on a little bit. You know, there's 8 games to go now. The players know, if any team, I know Liverpool on a great run at the minute, if any team can go and win 8 games in a row, it's Manchester City. We've done it every single season for the last few seasons. And I know we've got Atletico first, but going into the Liverpool game here next week, I can't wait.
I cannot wait for next Sunday. But as Paul mentions, before next Sunday, we have another huge game. On Tuesday night, we welcome Atletico Madrid to the Etihad Stadium in the first leg of the Champions League quarter-finals. An absolutely mouth-watering tie. Sean, how are you feeling ahead of the game?
Well, again, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling positive about it. I feel that our players, you know, we're quality players. We raised to the big occasion. We've been in these occasions or many times and done well. So I anticipate the same thing. I'm really looking forward to this because the Atletico team is somewhat like a Burnley team, but they just have more quality in possession. So they can defend, have a low block, but they also offer quality on the break. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Pep sort of goes about it tactically. We have the quality of players to do the job in both legs. But yeah, another exciting game to look forward to.
Obviously, Atletico, Paul, are really famous, really well known for how defensively strong they are. There's been a lot of talk about how defensively strong they are, how attackingly strong we are. What sort of game are you expecting in the first leg?
Manchester City to dominate possession. Atletico will come here, they'll sit back. They won't make any apologies if it's a scruffy 0-0 horrible game, because that's what they'll try and do. And they've been great at it over the years, but they're not the team that they were 2 or 3 years ago. You know, they're an aging team. I know they've got quality in João Felix, Griezmann, Suarez to come off the bench, but they've not got the quality that they had 3 or 4 years ago when they were really, you know, they were winning the La Liga, they were competing at the top end of the Champions League, and it's an aging team, so I can really see us, regardless how the game goes, is wearing them down over both legs, and expect us to win comfortably on Tuesday.
Does the change in the away goals rule affect how you think they might play that first half, Sean, or do you think they'll have their game plan regardless?
Well, I think City will have the game plan. I think, but they will think, listen, just try not to concede, because they'll look for that. Again, throughout the start of the game, they probably wouldn't be on the front foot and saying, "Oh, we've got to score this goal." But I reckon there'll be a point late in the game, last 10 minutes or 15 minutes, they'll be looking to try to score a goal. That's if it's 0-0, because they'll know how important it is. From our point of view, it'll be, if we're 1-0, then obviously can be potentially have 2-0. But I think it's also about them not scoring, because they are a team that can hold on to a 1-0 lead in terms of being able to defend and catch a team on the attack. So that's going to be important.
And as Pep tactically will know what to do. You know, no disrespect or digging it into Man United or Rangnick. They hadn't come up against Atletico before. Pep's come up against them, I think, 6 or 7 times. And the style that Atletico plays not changed throughout that time now that Pep's here. So he'll know tactically what to do. He'll know what players, and he would have known that as soon as the draw was made, because he's been there, seen it, done it.
In terms of our starting 11 for Tuesday, are you expecting many changes from the team that started today, Paul?
I know, and it's talking about Nathan Ake being fantastic. I would fully expect John Stones to come back in alongside Laporte, and then Riyad Mahrez. You know, he's been outstanding this season. You know, the amount of goals, the amount of assists, and he's had a 90-minute rest today as well. So I fully expect him to come in. For who? I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah, I'll probably put Bernardo in there because he's very good with the press and his quality. I always talk about his press, but his quality is equally as good as his pressing and his running around to sort of trigger things. So I think he'll be one that I would anticipate being in there because, again, I think he does so much without the ball, and we're going to need that as well.
And then I guess is the question again, for who? For who? It's so hard.
Yeah. Good luck with that one. Hey, that's above my pay grade.
And mine.
Of course, fence sitter Sean Goater is not going to tell us for who. In terms of our game plan for the game, Paul, obviously got to go out there. We know how difficult it's going to be going to Atletico in a few weeks' time, or the following week for that second leg. Do we need a couple of goals lead, do you think, at this point?
No, I don't. That would be lovely, don't get me wrong. And as I said, look, I fully expect us to win the game because this isn't the same Atletico Madrid team as what we've seen previously. I think we're just going to have to be really patient. I think the fans are going to have to be patient as well, purely because of how Atletico like to spoil games and how teams play. But you know, when you play against 5 at the back, it's so important that you move the ball really quickly and move the defenders out of positions. And then once you move them out of positions, it's about picking the right pass. And we've got 5 or 6 players in that team that can do that.
And when I think about the second leg, I think that Simeone is the sort of manager, he tries to get everybody involved. So the crowd's involved, the fourth officials, he's trying to, you know, have arguments with fourth officials, with the opposite coaching staff. And I think, for me, it's about our control over there. And I think this is where Pep, he just knows. And I think he'll be saying to the players, we can't get caught up in all that's happening around and all the noise and how they may want to interrupt the game with different things and trying to create fights and arguments. I think it's about how calm we are, and I think that will be a huge part of our tactics when we play over there in the second leg.
Well, if they resort to the tactics that we know they can do, that's a good thing, because it means that we're on top and they're doing everything they can to upset us.
Esme Morgan was on last week and 2 weeks ago, and she referred to it as the dark arts of football, which I very much like the description.
I used to quite like that myself a little bit.
You were an expert of it, Mr. Dickov. You were.
Blatant arts. Just kick him.
So Matchday Live will be back on Tuesday with myself. I'm going to be joined by David James, Trevor Sinclair and Sean Wright-Phillips. What a panel. 3 of them joining me from 6:45 on Tuesday. I hope that you can join us too. I am so excited. I can't wait for this game. Now, our man Stephen McInerney is in Hamburg. He's getting everywhere. He's travelling the world, meeting City fans. And today he's with Lennart. And also, they found some more City fans in the pub.
Hi, Nat, it's Stephen. We're here in Hamburg with Next and Tyre. Of course, City have just beat Burnley 2-0. It was wonderful, and we heard a familiar accent. Peter and Shane from Manchester. We're here with me and Leonard. Guys, how are you getting on? You all right?
Yes, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Especially after that result, we're on top of the world.
That was huge, wasn't it? What brilliant.
Big
that was
3
so
points
big in the
for
title
that
race.
to us today. Massive 3 points. You know, I think one hour was on Tuesday night, you know, with the team selection he picked, but well done, Pep. 3 points for City.
Well, that was it, of course, obviously, given the context of the title race, given the context of the game. You weren't even top of the league as the game kicked off. And Peter, that meant that this game was even more crucial, didn't it, to the title race?
Yeah, especially because the Liverpool game was on just before this. They won 2-0. Honestly, my heart sunk a little bit. I knew we could pull it. I knew we could pull it out.
I was nervous, mate.
I knew we could pull it out the bag, and I knew we would win and we'd beat Burnley. I knew that would happen. But at the start, I was a bit worried. As soon as we got 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes, we got that first goal, I knew it was ours. And like my dad said, 3 points in the bag, we're now back to the top of the league. It's amazing.
And that's the perfect place to end on it. Nat, I hope you're having a wonderful time there, and we'll see you back in Manchester very, very soon.
Come on, City!
We are. Thank you, Stephen. We hope you're having a wonderful time out in Hamburg. I love the fact that there is City fans everywhere now. Absolutely brilliant that they found more City fans out in Hamburg. So big thank you to Stephen and to all the Blues over in Hamburg. Right, it's time to reveal who's stat. So, you know our game. You get 3 clues. You have to work out who the current or former Manchester City player is. Now, clue 1, this player scored 32 goals in 36 games for his international team. I have to admit, at this point, I thought it was Riyad Mahrez. Don't know why, just did. Clue 2, in his career, this player scored more goals against Burnley than against any other club. 8 goals in 5 appearances. Clue 3, this is where it threw me. This player is the only player in history to score a hat-trick at Turf Moor. In 99 and 2001, 2 hat-tricks. So at this point, I was absolutely stumped. But somebody in the studio knew all along. Mr. Sean Goater, who do you think it is?
Well, it's yours truly, Sean Feedy Goat Goater.
Is it Sean Goater? How on earth did Sean Goater's biggest fan not know it was Sean Goater? I cannot believe I didn't get that one right. Dickie, did you know that one right from the start?
Yeah, I did. The international goals, and then I think Sean said himself, a little silhouette of him celebrating, had the goat written all over it.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry.
Hey, decent as well. I was impressed with my own stats.
Amazing stats. How did I not immediately know that? So today's Who's Stat was, of course, Sean Goater. Elaine Lawler got it right. She messaged in. Matt Guntrip got it right as well. Thank you very much for taking part in Who's Stat. So, gents, What a brilliant day. We are back at the top of the league. April has started. 8 games in April, maybe 9, depending on how things go, Sean. And today was the perfect way to start the month.
Yes, the perfect way. Raheem Sterling, he's top of the league. Yeah, listen, brilliant performance by everybody. Well done. I thought it'd be a lot tougher, but the guys have done really well.
And Paul, just a final word on today's game. I know you were confident before, but how happy are you feeling right now?
Yeah, delighted. Hoping the radio home they're actually going to give Manchester City some credit now, not like they were before the game.
Will you be listening to music on the way home, or will you be risking the radio?
No, I'm going to put the radio on. I might even call in.
Yes! Oh, please do, please do. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's always a pleasure. You always make me feel so much more confident. Thank you. And thank you to you all for joining us on Matchday Live as well. Back on Tuesday night, 7:15, myself, Trevor Sinclair, Sean Wright-Phillips, David James, ahead of the Atletico Madrid game. It's been an absolutely phenomenal day for the club. It started off with our under-18s having a victory 1-0. Then the women's team won 2-0. Then the men's team won 2-0. What a brilliant day. The weekend could be absolutely topped off. Weekend, I'm stretching it to Monday. The EDS are playing Monday night at the Emirates against Arsenal. We spoke to Kwaku Adomo, and here's what he had to say. We'll see you on Tuesday, Blues.
Kwaku, thanks for joining us. First off, what's the mood like in the camp after the international break and looking forward?
Yeah, the mood's quite high because we know we've just got last push until the end of the season. We know what we have to do to lift the trophy at the end of the season. We know what it's going to take, so we're going to push. We're going to demand of each other, like both players and stuff, so that we can all have a happy end to the season.
And it's a big game away at Arsenal, who obviously got a little bit of a chance of maybe a title push as well. So. Yeah. We're going to every game wanting to win, but is there maybe a bit more riding on this one to get that result? Yeah,
of course. Like I said, we know it's a big game. We know they're going to come after us. Like, every team comes after us. So for that reason, we treat every game as a big game. They're also like at the top end of the table, and we respect that. We respect that they're a good team. And we drew last time. They gave us a good test. So yeah, obviously we're going to be on top of everything, so that we give ourselves the best opportunity to win.
Yeah, you mentioned that 2-2 draw earlier in the season. Obviously a really, really good game of football. I assume you're expecting a similarly tough test this time around.
Yeah, 100%. They're going to want the 3 points, we're going to want the 3 points. So, if anything, it's going to be a harder game than last time when they came to our stadium. And it's not something that will come as a surprise to us. Like I said, we're going to train hard. We're going to push, demand of each other, and come the game, that nothing's a surprise to us. So yeah.
And another big stadium ticked off the list, being played at the Emirates on Monday. That must firstly be really, really exciting. Yeah. But secondly, it must give extra motivation to really put on a performance.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think for anyone in that 11, not just the starting 11, but anyone in the team, including staff, I think being in the stadium is like a first team environment, also with the fans. I think it just adds a bit more, to the game, like more competitiveness. We're gonna want it more. Obviously, they're gonna want it more too. So yeah, I think that's motivation, not just for me, but for every single one of the lads and the members of staff. So yeah, I agree.
And the game's on City Plus on Monday night. So how do you sort of feel with that added exposure? There's more games from EDS and under-18s on the platform, so is that something that you welcome, something that's quite exciting?
Yeah. I think it's very good that we get this kind of exposure. It's good. It's like the same as how the men's get their exposure. It's good for us as young players because it's preparing us for what we're going to step into. I think for me, I wouldn't say it's added pressure or anything, because we know what we have to do. You get on the pitch and you want to try your best. It's a bonus that people are watching and that more people are going to see. So obviously you're going to show how good you are. You're going to try your best, and yeah. So I agree, yeah.
And just finally, you obviously a major part of our title-winning under-18 side last season. First season with the EDS. How have you found it so far? How have you found that step up?
I think it was the perfect time for me to step up into the EDS, first of all. So I'm thankful for the plan that was put in place for me to do another year in the under-18s, because obviously to build momentum and get game time, I don't think I was quite ready to do 1 year and then step up. So for that reason, I'm thankful for the people at the club, because obviously it shows they have my best interest at heart. So more than anything, I think this season especially was the right time for me to step up and to add my qualities to the team. So yeah.
Thanks. Good luck on Monday, Quakey.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.